Hey, welcome back to the
right.
Lego workshop, where all we do is talk about minifigures and how we employ them.
Also known as Shop Talk.
Shop talk.
But this is kind of like what we do, except with people, but not really in a way, because people aren't like objects that you can just like
Yeah, you can't
mesh
just
and put them
easily
around.
manipulate them, or let's say you shouldn't easily manipulate them.
They shouldn't be, they're because they're people.
Right, right.
But we've worked with many different people over the years. It comes with having a business that needs to be open longer than you can put your time into it.
Right, right.
At a certain point, Kiara and I have to go home after so many consecutive days.
Exactly.
And we have to have staff that help us out. And for you guys, you have a wonderful team here.
I have an amazing team, and I have been pretty lucky. But when we started, it was just my husband and I for like almost the first year. It was just the two of us working together and then going home and living together. And while we very much like each other, that's a lot of togetherness, right? Also, as it turns out, I'm a giant introvert who can't be on the sales floor all the time without wanting to hurt myself. So, like, we hired our first employee mainly so that I could have an afternoon off. I just wanted one afternoon a week where I could go do something just for myself, or Scott and I could go on a dinner date or something like that. We just needed some downtime. So that's when we hired our first one. And I think for us, it was the right time. And I did the math. I was like, okay, let's say this person comes in and works a full day a week. That's at the time like $100, around $100. Is my mental health worth $100 a week? Well, I'll tell you right now that $100 a week for 8 hours off is way cheaper than what therapists charge per hour. So that was a smart decision.
It was a
for
good decision.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you can put it into calculable terms like that, but there is something about your own psyche of you do need to unplug at a certain point.
You do. Yeah.
And being unplugged will help the business in the long term.
Absolutely.
By you being recharged. Especially for Kia and I, we need to have our creative juices
Exactly, yeah.
be accessible for when we need to make a new room.
Yeah.
So when we're really busy and being successful, it's awesome that we're making money, but it's also not great that we can't like recharge and use that to complete the last room that we desperately need to be doing.
And you guys do a lot of the physical work as well as the creative work. So like
all the physical work with,
Right?
with building it out, yeah.
you've got to be able to go into it excited to some extent.
Yeah, no, we do. Every project that we get started on, we are definitely passionate and we want to see it to the end. I want to have people play this crazy new idea for a game that we've cooked up. And it's thanks to our staff that we can do that.
Right.
We have wonderful staff that we can rely on, that we work with. We knew immediately that we're going to need staff.
Yeah.
We were hoping that like, oh man, let's plan for a success. That's what we wanted to do fresh out of college. And I knew that we were going to need staff to do that. And the business model has baked in really good profit margins to immediately offer us to be able to hire somebody, at least to run some sessions that we didn't need to. Especially if they only need to be running for a few hours at a time. They wouldn't need to be on for a full shift.
Yeah.
It's kind of nearby Fresno State, so it would have been perfect for a college student, and we had plenty of those at our old location. Now we're trying to kind of steer away from that and more permanent staff employee. For example, at Hobbs Grove, this year we're going to be probably doing it even bigger and better than last year. And last year was just me and Kiara.
Yeah.
For 21 nights, it was just us. And that worked out for the most part. We learned a lot and we gained a lot. And it was really nice not having to spend money on an employee. Every dollar that we got was pretty much a dollar that we earned.
And that Hobbs Grove is like the big Halloween,
As
almost
far as
a
I'm aware,
festival in town for like a month.
yeah.
You guys saw how many people go through?
It was, how many would you say, Kiara?
I don't know. Our biggest night, we had like 200 people.
We had
so
200 people, and then on
it was
average, like 150 or so
I would say
a
at least
night.
like 3,000.
Yeah. And you-
Which is crazy for us to see that much in a single month,
Right.
in a way that we would have never been in business before to do.
Yeah.
It was fabulous for us. So next year we want to do it even bigger, even better. there's lessons that we've learned in automation and how we can do it to where it's less dependent on us. Last year we got sick.
Yeah.
And that was really terrible. Thankfully, it mostly worked out to where we got sick, and then there was a little bit of a grace period where we got sick that Sunday after the sessions.
Yeah.
And then we were back at it on Wednesday, and we had a few days off. But if that had happened on like a Friday, that would have been terrible, and we didn't have staff.
Right.
For us, and we didn't have anyone that we could rely on. So that's something that I have to consider for next year. Is it worth the risk? And knowing that there's so many people that come through there,
Yeah.
we're probably gonna get sick again.
But you guys still had the regular escape room up and running during that time too. So
And we had our staff relied
yeah.
on that, yeah. So we can only have our employees be
Right.
at so many places anyway. Plus, it didn't really work out to where we would have had to train them on the new games as well, and that would have just meant less margin
Right.
for us, which is even more of a tough call.
But one of the things we both do really well, I think, is empowering our staff to make decisions when we're not there. Because if you're out at Hobbs Grove all month, your people running your check-in desk and running your games for you have to feel like they can make decisions without calling you every second.
Right, for any little thing that might go wrong, which things do go wrong.
Yeah,
Murphy's
all the
Law
time, right?
absolutely
Yeah.
is a bitch, and it's there to stay.
And it's finding that level of. So I think you hire your employee first, right? You get that first employee in and you're like, oh, I can do so many more things now. But you also have to train yourself to delegate tasks to that person. And that was one of my hardest things to do. Now that I've got 5 or 6 people on staff, and because my life has been chaos for the last year, delegating out things that I love to do was a really hard transition for me. So delegating out things I don't like to do was a hard transition. Like I used to always do the scheduling, and now my manager does that all the time. And now that's just like a piece of information I don't have in my head. But giving him that task opened up a lot of time for me to think about what inventory should we have or what events should we run and all of that.
It opens you up to do literally anything else.
Right.
Kind of more beneficial for the business that a business owner is more best equipped to make
Exactly.
that informed decision on.
Yeah. And then when it comes to a person like that, like my manager, Jesus, getting somebody who complements your skill set is always, I think, the way to go. I am really analytical. I am very good with numbers. I used to be a computer programmer, that kind of thing. Jesus is much better at people than I am. So we complement each other that way. He is very conservative when it comes to ordering numbers, and I'm a little more aggressive at those numbers. So we usually end up ordering something kind of in the middle. But because we work together and we're different, because if he just said yes to everything, then
You'd be overstocked, probably.
I would have way too much stock right now. Yeah. And we'd be making other mistakes. He's the person I can go to and ask questions about things. And the rest of my staff is now kind of that way. And it's great to have an empowered staff. And sometimes it's hard because we do have an open communication. So sometimes there will be complaints or concerns about things that I just don't have time for at the time. And it's hard to like accept all of that and feel like I can still do things. Like I'm not doing things wrong.
At the tone, 6 hours, 31 minutes, coordinated universal time.
All right, we are now living in post-Fallout America. EMP blast knocked out producer Kiara's phone, but luckily we're coming back to you somehow in the future, together with the future technology. But that has been it. That has been Shop Talk for this time. We now have to survive in nuclear America. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions that you have for Jax or myself, please leave a comment, ask a question, whatever it is. Find us in the street, mug us, whatever it is. You can do it. We believe in you.
Take your Mentats.
Take your Mentats. Buff out.